Good afternoon. It's 3:01. Mike Lee jumping in here on the Joe Cook Get Together this afternoon on Mix 104.1 and MixTV.tv. And it is Manufacturing Week this week. And I have the pleasure of having Ricky Singletary and Seth Godswort.
Close enough.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Okay. From the Eaton Corporation. You guys have never been on the radio before?
That's correct.
No,
Never?
first time.
Oh, we're going to have a blast.
Nice.
I got a lot of tough questions for you coming up. Actually, part of manufacturing manufacturing week, how does that work for Eaton's involvement?
Sure. So, typically what happens is we'll get partnered up with a local high school. Sometimes it varies from the different schools or even the Pie Center. For this year specifically, we're teaming up with Cleveland High School. So Mr. Ritchie has a welding class there at the school, and they're going to be teaming up with our welding department. And kind of what the objective looks like for this year is centered on standard work. So we'll talk a little bit about our plant. The Eaton site that we have here in town has been there for about 50 years. And so you might ask yourself, well, what can a couple of high school kids help us with over at the facility? And there's actually a lot. So in that area, they're going to be helping us with standard work. We're going to be getting some new welders that we're going to be bringing on site and help us dial in what those settings need to be for, the feed rate and things like that, where the settings can kind of be dialed in and then have a document that we can go back to of what the standard is and what good looks like. So that's what the team will be helping us out with.
I was going to say, it's companies like yours, Eaton, that really are trying to encourage young people to look at the trades as opposed to just getting a degree they might not even be able to use.
That's exactly right. So, we have positions in the plant for degreed individuals. So, at our site, it's a manufacturing site, but we have roles for marketing, sales, HR, supply chain, and then, of course, engineering. But exactly to your point, too, we do need technical people. We need people who can troubleshoot machines and equipment and help get things back up and running, but also operate those pieces of equipment as well. So you're exactly right.
Absolutely. I echo the same thing Seth says. I lead our part of our operations team, and so a lot of my team is not as degreed per se, but they're just as important in terms of our overall success. So we definitely need folks that want to come and learn different skills and different trades with us and help grow with us as we grow as a company.
Well, I have a cousin. He never got a degree. He did go to technical school, and he built $1 million corporation, knowing where to make the fixes and how to organize and structure new manufacturing facilities and all that, and did it all with I think it was a 9-month.
Nice.
So so often people think, well, I'm just going to be a welder. I'm just going to be there. There are limitless opportunities when you go into the trade.
Absolutely, I 100% agree.
And so, how did people get involved in this?
So being in the manufacturing week is a partnership usually with the chamber, or someone sometimes will reach out to us, and a lot of times we reach out to the communities and the schools where we have a need. So we have partnerships with UTK and UTC as well, whether it's been internship opportunities or co-ops or specific projects like this one. So sometimes we just raise a hand, and typically it's the stuff that's important but we can't get to, right? So every day we get in there and we have stuff, emergency, on fire, got to get it out, got to get units out the door, but there's some important things that we need to get to but we just can't. And some of them aren't too terribly complex. So an example like this with the standard work is where we kind of call and say that, we raise a hand and say we'd like to partnership and here's a specific thing that we kind of need help and focus with.
That's fantastic. Do you see the participants, they come in eager and excited to learn?
Oh, for sure. For a lot of times when we do this, we always have a plant tour, right? So for some of them being high school age kids, might be their first time in manufacturing environment and setting, and getting to see the plant is pretty cool. They're usually on board and excited, and the first time they walk through, their eyes are kind of wide and glazed over, and everything's brand new, right? Always eager to jump in and jump on board. And I think the most eye-opening thing is what I touched on earlier is like you think the plant has it all figured out, and you think, what possibly can I do to help, even if I don't, have an engineering degree or things like that. But you can literally jump in, and even these small projects can make a big difference for the plant.
We're talking with Ricky and Seth from Eaton Corporation. It's all part of the manufacturing week going on. Ricky, how did you get involved with this?
So I've been with Eaton now for about 12 and a half years. I joined the Cleveland Eaton team back in April, like I said, as their operations manager. And so since I get the opportunity and the privilege to lead a good portion of the workforce, I get to interact with the engineers and those when we bring in visitors, such as what Seth has explained, and even when we have interns and all those that want to just kind of get their feet wet in manufacturing, if they will, not really sure what it entails, but just are kind of eager to learn more. And so that's kind of where my role plays, if you will, in the overall process.
Seth, tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, so my background's in engineering. So I got my degree at UTC, mechanical engineering. My background before that is metal forming. So at our site, we make safety switches. I have little small 3D printed versions that are right here on the table. If you've ever been on the back side of a building, or even these air conditioning units on the back of the building here, they're powered by a local disconnect, right? And it's to turn the
Yeah.
power on and off to keep you safe if you have to do maintenance on it. And that's what we make at the site here. So Eaton as a whole is a really big company. Has a couple different divisions between aerospace, vehicle group, electrical group, and we fit into that electrical group field. And our plant specifically makes safety switches. So nowhere else in the world do they make an Eaton safety switch other here in Cleveland, Tennessee. So it's pretty cool. So if you're ever out and about and traveling or vacation, I always keep an eye out, and it kind of drives my wife crazy. I'm always searching, right? Look on the lookout for it to know that that's what we made right here in town. So I love manufacturing. You look at this room, everything in here was made in a plant somewhere.
Yes.
So manufacturing is just huge, right? And so I'm always kind of drawn to it and absolutely love it. And when it comes to at the Eaton site, it's all mechanical, right? So being a mechanical engineer, I thought Eaton electrical, I don't know if I can do that, right? But when you get in the plant setting, it's all mechanical. It's stamps, it's presses, it's copper, steel, aluminum being bent and formed and welded and painted, and then the high volume assembly. And we also have some specific flex and ETO engineer to order offerings as well. So when I first joined the team, I joined as a design engineer. So used my background with 3D modeling and CAD and brought that experience in. And now I've moved kind of to the manufacturing engineering side on the operations side. So again, I touched earlier about the different roles that we have in the plant. Even within the engineering groups, we kind of have two divisions. We have a design engineering group and a manufacturing engineering group. On the design side, they tell us how to make the product, and on the manufacturing side, we decide how to make the product. So, design guys don't care what process or what press or what machine it runs off of, and that's for us to decide how to make it, in a safe environment, high quality, and ultimately efficient.
With it being manufacturing, we're glad to have you here, but this is great just because people drive by Eaton every day and have no idea what you do. And now they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Anything else you want to hit before we finish up here?
So I will just add, as Seth mentioned, so we're growing our organization, so we constantly have open positions available, especially throughout our assembly and fabrication departments, and even in some of our degreed areas as well. We offer a variety of benefits starting day one. We also have an air conditioning facility, which a lot of our employees really enjoy. We support further education, so I know Seth talked through his education, but I've gotten several degrees with Eaton support throughout the years, and we have paid holidays. Again, some of the perks that we offer to our employees. So for those that may be interested, certainly check out EatonJobs.com and come check us out.
EatonJobs.com.
Yes.
Seth, Ricky, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having us.
All right, it's 3:09. Good afternoon.